You've probably been researching this for weeks, maybe longer. You've got a family, you've got a house, and somewhere in the back of your head, there's a version of this decision that goes wrong. A dog that's too much, too unpredictable, too expensive to keep healthy, or worse, one that doesn't step up when it actually matters. And you're trying to figure out which of these two breeds closes that gap between the dog you want on your couch and the dog you need at your door at 2 a.m. That gap is real, and both of these breeds close it differently. One of them will close it better for your specific situation, and by the end of this, you'll know which one. Start with what these dogs actually are, because the surface comparison, big Italian dog versus famous German dog, leaves out the part that matters. The Cane Corso is descended from the Roman Canis pugnax, the war dog that moved with Roman legions across 3 continents. When the empire collapsed, these dogs stayed in southern Italy and spent the next 15 centuries on farms, guarding estates, controlling livestock, and handling situations without being told twice. By the mid-20th century, the breed had nearly disappeared. A handful of Italian breeders in the 1970s tracked down the remaining working animals in Puglia and Campania and rebuilt the population from almost nothing. The dog they recovered was not a pet that had been selectively bred for gentleness. It was a working guardian that had survived specifically because it was useful in a role that required judgment, loyalty, and physical presence. The AKC recognized the breed in 2010. The serious working community had been using it for decades before that recognition meant anything commercially. The German Shepherd was built for a different purpose by a different kind of person. Max von Stephanitz, a former cavalry officer, wanted a working dog of supreme versatility. One that could herd, track, apprehend, and follow commands under conditions that would cause other dogs to disengage. He registered the first German Shepherd, Horand von Grafrath, in 1899. The breed moved into military work almost immediately, served in both world wars, and became the most widely deployed police and military dog on the planet. That deployment history is not incidental. It tells you what the dog was optimized for: receiving instruction, executing under pressure, and doing both consistently across handlers who weren't the dog's primary owner. Those two histories produce two different animals in the same role. What instinct does versus what training does? Here's the debate your comment section runs on, and I'm going to take a side. Instinct and training are not interchangeable, and for family protection specifically, they serve different functions. The Cane Corso's protective behavior is largely instinctive. It doesn't need to be trained to guard the family. It guards the family the way it breathes, without deliberate instruction, without reinforcement schedules, because the behavior is sitting inside the dog's genetics from 15 centuries of selection for exactly that function. A Cane Corso, raised in your home, socialized with your children, adjusted to your daily rhythms, will identify your family as its charge and treat threats to that family accordingly. The training you do with a Cane Corso refines and channels that instinct. It doesn't create it. The German Shepherd's protection work is more trainable than instinctive in its expression. The instinct is there. The breed has real protective drive, but the GSD's exceptional quality is that it reads its handler's signals and adjusts. It can be taught to alert without engaging. It can be taught to engage on command. It can be taught to disengage. The precision is trainable in a way the Cane Corso's heavier instinctive drive is not. For a family with children who have friends over constantly, who live in a neighborhood with regular foot traffic, who need a dog that can assess "this is a normal person" from "this is a threat" in real time with input from the owner, that precision matters enormously. The Cane Corso asks you to trust its judgment. The German Shepherd asks you to guide its judgment. Neither is superior in the abstract. They're different contracts. The real family question. A Cane Corso, with children it grew up with, is genuinely one of the more impressive things in the working breed world. Patient, tolerant, physically gentle despite its size, males run 45 to 50 kilograms, in a way that surprises people who expected aggression from the breed's reputation. The loyalty is deep and specific. This dog knows its family, and it knows the difference between family and everyone else. That selectivity is exactly what you want in a guardian. The challenge with children is the Cane Corso's size and the dog's approach to strangers. A Cane Corso that doesn't know someone will be aloof in a way that can escalate if the stranger misreads the dog's signals. Children who bring friends home, unfamiliar children, running and shouting and moving unpredictably, require a canine Corso that has been socialized specifically and continuously through puppyhood and adolescence. Without that investment, the dog's instinctive territorial response doesn't distinguish between an unknown adult entering the property and an unknown child your daughter invited for a playdate. The German Shepherd is more adaptable across social contexts. It's alert without the canine Corso's weight of suspicion. It barks, loudly, early, consistently, which serves two functions simultaneously. It warns the family that something is happening, and it warns the person approaching that the dog has already identified them. The canine Corso doesn't warn the same way. It watches quietly and then acts decisively, which is more efficient in a pure protection context and more unpredictable in the daily family context, where most interactions with strangers are benign. Health, where both breeds will cost you and where they differ. The Cane Corso's health list includes hip dysplasia, dilated cardiomyopathy, bloat, the same GDV emergency that affects any deep-chested breed, and ectropion, an eyelid condition requiring surgical correction in some lines. Lifespan runs 9 to 12 years, shorter than you want from a dog this embedded in your family's daily life. The German Shepherd has a health profile that's different in its specifics, but similar in its seriousness. Hip dysplasia affects the breed at rates the OFA consistently ranks among the highest in domestic dogs. Degenerative myelopathy, a progressive spinal cord disease specific to the breed, genetically testable, produces rear limb weakness that worsens irreversibly. American showline German Shepherds with the dramatically sloped top line have measurably worse hip and rear limb outcomes than working line dogs with a straighter back. If you're buying a German Shepherd for a family guardian role, the line matters more than the name on the registration paper. Lifespan runs 9 to 13 years. Neither breed is a cheap dog to maintain. Neither breed is forgiving of neglect in its health management. The owners who kept these dogs healthy past their average lifespan, who made it to 12, 13 years, paid attention early and specifically, not reactively. The question you're actually asking: you want a dog that your kid can fall asleep on during a movie, and that would put itself between your family and something wrong at the door without hesitation. You want both things in the same animal. You want the gentle giant and the perfect beast simultaneously. Both of these breeds give you that. The Cane Corso gives it to you more instinctively, with less training investment required to produce the protection behavior, and with a physical presence that functions as a deterrent before the dog does anything at all. A 48-kilogram Cane Corso appearing in a doorway communicates something that most people will not argue with. The German Shepherd gives it to you more adaptably, with better precision in mixed social environments, with a communication style, the bark, the alert, the graduated warning, that works better in the daily reality of a family home where not every knock on the door is a threat. My honest verdict: if you have children under 10 and a normal social life with regular visitors, the German Shepherd from working lines is the better daily family guardian. It reads context better. If your children are older, your household quieter, and you want a dog whose protective presence is felt before it's heard, the Cane Corso is the superior choice. The dog on your couch at night and the dog at your door at 2 a.m. is the same dog in both cases. That's what makes both of these breeds worth the research you've been doing. You're not wrong for wanting both things. You just need to know which version of both things fits your actual life, not the life the breed's reputation describes, but the house you actually live in, the kids you actually have, the door you actually need protected. One of these two dogs fits that life better than the other. You know which one now.